going on, groupies? I know it's dark, but I will show you the light. No plan. But I'm gonna have to do something. Hold on, let's see. I might fuck the thing up. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. Hope not. Oh, good. I didn't fuck it up. That was the first. Let me just lower some of this down a little bit because it's nighttime now. So, as you guys know, I'm not a heterosexual cisgendered male. You know what I'm saying? I am a pansexual, gender fluid, cross dressing, yeah, person. You know, and if you know my past a little bit, you know where I'm coming from. But if you don't, it's like I'm gonna have to say what I've said. You know, when it comes to being transgender, or whatever. So basically, I can't really get into the details right now. I just can't. It's not that video, but I'm dealing with a lot of emotional turmoil right now. Very hardcore emotional turmoil. I don't know about you guys, but like when I wake up in the morning and there's certain depressive episodes. You know, I've had major depression in the past, very suicidal and shit. And I remember waking up every morning, and it's like I hate it. I hated waking up. I hated like the fact that I woke up, you know, in the morning. And I feel that way kind of way now, kind of, but not really. And I want to like not die necessarily, but go back to sleep and stay asleep forever because it's like I can't. Nothing can hurt me in my sleep, you know. So it's kind of like that. That's kind of how I feel. But it's just that like right now, I'm like, I was watching a documentary called The Stroll. It's about trannies living in, or really a prostitution street in New York City back in the 80s. You know, that's what it was about. But really, you know, what it's really about is the people that were there, which were trans women, were prostituting in the meatpacking district of New York on 14th Street. And basically why they were there, what happened when they were there, and what happened, how did they get out of it, or what happened, you know, afterwards, right? So watching that movie was inspiring because I saw a lot of black and brown trans women, and it was like, you know, it was also very inspiring. It's an animal. It was also very inspiring because you know, just the whole being trans and back then, you know, it was more they didn't have access to all that shit. That's the thing too. They talk about today, like, oh well, you know, the trans women have it better now. You back then you couldn't get a job if you were like this, or if you were effeminate, or if you were gay, or whether you were this. So we had to fucking, and I'm just sitting here thinking like that's bullshit. It's not a review on the movie, but I'm just trying to say everything. You know, that's bullshit because, like, I'm just saying it now because I noticed it. Like, a lot of them were not passable. A lot of them were transvestites. A lot of them were transvestites. And that's what the whole thing's about. We didn't have access to hormones that we do now. You had to be a transsexual. For one, it was shunned upon, so it's not like you can just go to some random doctor and be like, it's cool. And that's how it is. And that's why nowadays, that's why they're doing all this shit because of politics and whatnot. You know, they don't want, you know, kids to see all this shit. They don't want kids to have access to tranny porn because, like, they know, like, what the fuck. But nowadays it's so accessible and shit. But it's not. It's not because when I was trying to get hormones, it was not that easy. You know, you have to be one. You have to want to be a woman. You know, it's just. Let me get too far down the rabbit hole. But anyways, it inspired me, but also scared me because, like, you know, these chicks, these black and brown women, you know, for the most part, right, trans women that were really transvestites at the time. It's just like feel sad for them. I just feel like this awkward, this like detachment. Like it's almost kind of like, you know, when you're like not from the hood or you black, and then you be around black people that are from the hood, and you know that they ignorant, and it's like you're not even at a level where you're like, you know, you're in a movie with Martin Lawrence, some of the family reunion or some shit, and he was like, and his brother, he was a barbecue, and his brother was cooking like a sausage link, and he was like, here, you get first bite. And then he was like, he's like, I can't. He's like, don't tell me you're not eating pork no more. He's like, no, me and my wife, she, you know, had just suggested, you know, my wife suggested I should eat, you know, low fat, you know what I'm saying, low carb diet. They're like, oh, you can't eat this no more. You know, it sounds like that. I heard you talk about. But you know, when it comes to being in the show, you know, a trans woman in that show, or whatever. I mean, the movie, The Stroll, it's on Max for free. Of course, Max is free if you. It's on Max. Things on Max are for free, right? So I don't know what I'm talking about. It's on Max though. You know, HBO Max, but they call it Max now. You know, but yeah, so like it was just weird because it was like. Oh, sorry, it was like that. It was kind of like that shit, where, you know, but not like that, you know, where I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, like, he wanted to eat that fucking sausage link, but, you know, he couldn't eat it because he feels some type of way, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not where I'm at. I'm, like, at a point where I'm, like, you know, where certain black women are like, well, if he wasn't gonna pay, if he didn't have a job, what made you think he was gonna pay child support? The fuck? Like, you know, like, certain things that they, you know, like, it's like that, you know, one girl that, you know, it's not from the hood talking to a girl that's from the hood type shit, but we both grown, so, you know, it's like that, you know. That's how I kind of felt like when I was dealing with them. It was like they're watching this show. It was like they were like, oh, they were going in about how it was amazing and they made so much money and this, that, and the third, and I was just thinking the whole time, like, fuck off, you know. I was thinking like that's some horse shit, and everybody fucking knows it. You know what I'm saying? Look at him. I'm sorry, that's how I say that shit. This is why I'm saying in Texas, especially in Houston, they just be fucking two motorcycles on the grass. Like, they just be fucking driving on the grass. They be doing whatever the fuck they want to do out here. I hate all that extra shit. So Texas, like, well, let's take our fucking tractor fucking motorcycles and shit, our dirt bikes, and let's drive over this fucking big ass fucking lot of fucking grass. You know what I'm saying? Past the bayou to get to the main street. Like, bro, what the fuck? Whatever. Anyways, so, you know, it's just like, for example, like, it was like they just made, you know, sex work seem like it was fun, and it was, you know, the crack epidemic, like, yeah, I was like Snoop Dogg and shit, I was making like $800 a night. Like, yeah, then she switched up and was like, and, you know, you end up being homeless and trans and da-da-da-da, and the clients are not coming in. And I'm like, clients, like, what the fuck? They'd be like, oh my god, they at the locations of their prostitution. Like, oh my god, I was over here behind this meat truck and shit, and I would open up the meat truck because they would be unlocked, and I would go in there and I would serve up the jobs. And you're thinking, like, that's not good. And, you know, being me, you know, being conscious, it's like, you know, like, black rights, black people power, black power conscious type shit, you know, that I'm coming from, you know, with my Rastafari roots and shit, being a conscious community. It was like, it's weird because it's like, I know where I'm looking at this shit from is a totally different perspective. I'm looking at it from an ancient perspective. Like, I'm looking at these of them as the third gender, you know, the third sex or whatever, two-spirited people, and, you know, how they were revered and all this shit, but in this so-called, you know, in this white man system, not talking shit about white people, but just saying, though, you know, it's this, so, you know, in this white supremacist system, it's like, you know, they're shunned upon and shit based off of religion and all this other shit, you know, going in, and so it's just like, so this is what they have done with the third gender. You know, because these people exist. It's like men exist. Remember, men will always exist. Women will always exist. Third gender people always exist. Gay people will always exist. So you have all these. So it's like seeing that shit and seeing what they're, you know, reduced to it, or, you know, in this new modern world, and we're not in the ancient world. It's like, it's annoying. It's like they were high spiritual people and all, and this is what they're using their powers for. Is for sex. It's for sex healing, like sex work. You know what I mean? Sex healing work. And it's still, sex magic is strong, but it's like, but these people, when you're dealing with people that do, it's like hypnotism. It doesn't work if they don't want it to work. And so these people are toxic. People don't come into people's lives because they want to be healed. You know, people don't come into people's lives because they want to heal you, or they just like to uplift each other. You know what I'm saying? And uplift the energy. Like, people just want to fucking be toxic. And so, like, that's what it's like. So they're never gonna get nowhere with that shit. And then on a level of an earthly level, just a level of just, you know, having a human experience, right? It's like they're shunned out of society, for one, and number two, you get what I'm saying? It's like, to do sex work is the worst of the worst. And I'll wear t-shirts talking about some sex work is work. I'm like, what the fuck are that supposed to mean? That actually made me angry. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, y'all trying to make that shit like something you're proud of or something? Like, don't do that shit. That's like you don't see no niggas. You don't see nobody saying like, yeah, bro, if you had to sell drugs, sell drugs. You gotta do this shit. You know, that's like saying a drug dealer is a job. That's what you're saying. It's the same type of shit. It's like, bro, this is derelict ass shit. And then I started thinking about places like New York City and the cities in general. You know, if you go into that thing itself, you get conscious about that, you kind of realize cities are really like these places that you have to realize it's like cities are really places that two entities, right? Two organizations that are really on the level of like, okay, we're gonna go to war because we want your shit. We want to fucking get everybody. We want to get all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And we want to fucking bring it back to our shit and make it the shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality of like the city. And so the city is a place for people. For example, think of a city of for a place for two tribes to meet, right? And converse with each other. You know, it's like the city is the open market. And so the city, on a level of humanity, right, and tribalism and family and clans and on that aspect, you know, real life, so to speak, is not a real thing. That's why you don't see families. That's why cities are not places. That's why cities are not family oriented on that aspect of, you know, we don't treat each other like family. You know what I'm saying? In cities, like, we're just random fucking people because that's how it is. We don't have any business with each other and shit like that. And so I realized that the children, so families are not supposed to be in the city. Families are not meant for cities. You know what I'm saying? So if you see a family in a city, it's because they're a family that's in a city. But families are not meant for cities are not meant for families. So with that being said, it's like, being a trans person, you know, or whatever, you're not in the procreation like timeline when it comes to heteronormativity, and especially in situations like that. And so I'm basically saying to myself and thinking that, you know, that it's like they're just the left behind people, and that's why you have a lot of people that are on the streets. And this is what I'm saying, because it's like there are people that were basically born to this world, and I think that's a very American thing. Is to be born into America and not really know who you are, where you come from, not really have a purpose in life, just be trying to survive. And that's why because remember, America's a corporation. You know, this is a business. And so, you know, if you think about it, and we're all employees, so if you think about it on that level, and, you know, understand that fact, it's like you start to realize, like, a lot of people that be like struggling, like trans women in the 80s, you know, prostituting all the time. It's like, it's because they're the derelicts of society. Like, there is no society, you know? Society is really made up of, like, the police, because their job is to make sure the fucking, you know, the transaction center, which is a city, you know what I'm saying, is, like, not fucking fucked up, you know? That people are not fucking, like, killing each other, and there's chaos, and and all this other shit. And that, like, you know what I'm saying, taxes are paid, and all, you know, all types of shit like that. This is kind of the point of everything. And there's different jobs in the city, and so that's why if you're living in the city, you really should work for the city. You get what I'm saying? But I digress. And so you have a lot of situations, you know, that I've noticed that like that. You know, so you have a lot of derelict people, pushers, and so it's like, that's not good. And they want to sit here and try to, like, I'm getting my life, and oh my god, I had this one job. All he did was spin me around, and like he busted a nut on the ground and gave me $800. And it's like, that shit's not cute. It sounds like a fucking dream come true almost. Like, oh, that was easier than I thought it would be. But it's like you don't understand what's going on, how deep this shit is. It's like you don't understand. Like, you're creating a bad situation. You're creating all the two-spirited people, which are supposed to be higher vibrational people than the average fucking cisgender person. You get what I'm saying? And they're using it to be fucking such a low vibratory frequency, which is fucking not high sexual. It's not sexual healing. They're just fucking, and so they're just whores. It's lame. And then you deal with people that are sex work. Sex work is like you have to pay for just a nut. He didn't fuck her. And she's talking about something, he nutted and I got $800. Like, that's because I paid for sex before. I know what I'm talking about. It's like, if you nut, it's over. If you nut, it's over. You got to pay them. And it's like, what the fuck? It's like, I can still, like, give it like 10 minutes. I can get hard again. Like, are you fucking serious? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy to me. You know what I mean? And so that's why people don't like that shit. Like, people don't like paying for sex because it's like the way it is. It's not paying for sex. It's like the way they do that shit is weird. You know? Once you bust that nut, it's over. They don't have to touch you. It's like, if they take their clothes off and do some shit, and you bust that nut, they're gonna fucking like, where my money at? Where my money at? Like, that's how that shit be like. It's weird. You know? And that's why I just be like, I don't like that shit. You know what I mean? The whole situation is like, nah. It's that bullshit. And so that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, and then, like, you know, and so they're trying to pick up the prostitution, which is not good. And then, like, they know they're going through problems. And then, like, you know, they want to talk about, surviving in the world and how it's hard to be like, you're black, you're a man, and you're queer or some shit or whatever. Like, that's like, it's over for you. Like, you're have the hardest out of anybody. And it's just like, man, what the fuck? You know, it just makes you feel like, why? You know, like, what the fuck does it even mean? You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know what it means, but like, what the fuck? Anyways, so that fucked me up. And then, lastly, like, when they show the future, it's like they're all old now, and they started to advocate for rights because people started to kill them. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what started the whole transgender rights. And it's just like weird because it's like, what the fuck? I don't know how to explain it. It's just so fucking weird. You just feel like, and they're like, I was the whore. You know, they're all old and successful now. Like, things turned out somehow better for them or whatever. You got they're bringing in the internet. And they're talking about how the internet changed things for trans women. They can start becoming escorts and shit. And it taught them computer skills, which they learned and got jobs with the computer skills. It's like, but even in the 80s, I watched another documentary. Like, there's a lady that I think created something. And this trans woman that created something for computers to revolutionize computers and shit. But they fired her for it and took her idea. So I'm saying is like, no, like, it's just weird, you know? And then they're all like, you know, having speeches and having like protests and speeches and shit. And they're like, you know, I'm a tranny and I'm a whore and I'm fucking old now and I fucking paved the way and we fucking fought for our rights with the Congress. We went to the government, the city, and we asked them to fucking do this and now they did it for us and we're good now. And it's like, you can get a job now as a tranny and shit, you know, because I was in the streets being a whore so I can survive and stay alive and tell people like us. It just makes you feel like, I don't think it's weird, you know? It's like, who did what? Like, no, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know you. You don't know my story. I don't know you. We're not the same person and people. You didn't fight for my rights and shit. You know what I mean? I get I get what you're saying, but it's just kind of like phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? I guess, but it just made me feel some type of way, you know. And on top of that, it was like when it's all said and done, it was just like for me, I never had this story. I have more of a quote unquote white person story. Not even a white person story. Like I have more of a like an AGP type story, which is really weird because a lot of them throw some, oh, I was so effeminate as a child, but y'all look like dudes. Y'all look like faggots. Like, especially when in the 80s, when they were showing them when they were young, they looked like dudes. They looked like transvestites. And it was like, what the fuck? And now they look like full-fledged old black women or whatever, but still, it was like, what the fuck? Not at the time. And so it's just things like that. I'm just thinking like, like, this is weird, like, this is not my story, and it's like, it's weird to me because, like, I'm in it now, like, for me, it's like, honestly, I'm an AGP, like, I had a boyhood, you know what I mean, I was more attached to my boyhood, I also like effeminate things and whatnot, too. I like to effeminize, or so to speak, or, deal with effeminacy, so I basically be feminine, right? Be girly, act girly, or whatever, do girly things or whatever, but into girly things, or whatever, or just be into softer things, whatever, But I always had to perform masculinity and typical masculinity. And so it's not until I got older, until I fucking I found out about trans people, it woke something up in me, you know what I mean? To be it's not even about finding out about trans people. It was really finding out through my sexuality. Like, basically, only growing up and being a download dude, so to speak, right? Being so horny that I have sex with my friends. And then I'm doing that shit and thinking, am I gay? I don't know if I'm gay, am I straight? Oh my god, I don't want to be gay because it's bad and all that shit. And then until I got an adult, and it was just like, I had sex with another dude again, my friend. And it was just like, I've been doing this my whole life, and I'm a grown-ass man. Like, all my friends back in high school had sex with girls and girlfriends, and, all this shit. It's like, and I'm sitting here having sex, and I have friends that are virgins, and they were having sex with nobody. And it's like, here I am, but I am having sex with dudes. Like, you are gay. You know what I'm saying? There's not more than one time. Like, this is, like, consistent. This is what you do, You like doing that shit. And so with that being said, that's when I knew it was like, damn, like, that's the problem, The problem is that I'm just gay. I like dudes. And I was cool being gay. Like, I was comfortable being gay. I still am now. But it's like, I don't even think about that shit. Like, sometimes I think about being gay and I'm just like, that's perfect. It's perfect. But whatever, right? So, it's like, and that's what brings me to where I have my tablet on, right now. Because I feel like that movie Second Serve, which I was about to put on, should have put it on. Let me go ahead and see if I can do that real quick while I'm talking. So yeah, it's like, for me, it's like, I learned about that, and then I found out about trans women, and it was more research. So I always kind of knew about trans women, because I remember watching TV shows, talk shows when I was younger and shit, a kid and whatnot, about things like that. My dad kind of flipping through the channel to make sure we don't see it, but he was like, what the fuck is this? Trannies? You know what I'm saying? This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? America. You know what I'm saying? Looking at Foolish nays, Africans. What is these? Foolish nays. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, for me, it was like that. I found my trans woman, and it was like, oh, this is crazy. And so I started doing my research about trans women. And so I did my research, and it was like, that's when I was like, oh my god, like, it's okay to be effeminate. Not only effeminate, like, you can transition to a woman, you can look like a woman. Like, it's hard to explain, but when you find out you can be a male and be so fucking pretty or be so fucking hot that you can, like, be hotter than the hot chick. You know what I'm saying? Or you could be as prettier than a fucking pretty chick, as long as you put the work in. And so it was that mentality that really had me like, oh my god. You know what I mean? It was just oh my god. So that's why I did all the research and shit. And so I did the research, I found out basically, like, there was, like, cross-dressers. But I didn't really know they were cross-dressers because I got more into the queer community, so to speak, right? So I got more into trans women, post-op trans women, um, pre-op trans women, you know, pre-HRT trans women, um, you know, uh, gender fluidity, queer fashion, things like that, non-binary fashion, things like that. And so that's what really had me. Okay, go ahead and pause it real fast. So that's pretty much what had me, fucked up. Was the fact that it was like, I was doing that, and so like that to express my femininity. You get what I'm saying? Besides just expression of physical, like in my mannerisms and my speech, it was like I can actually like present more effeminate, if that makes sense. More metrosexual or whatever. But I only did that. I knew that I wanted to take it a step further, but I also knew I couldn't do that shit because of society. But when I went on the internet, you saw people like, okay, this is how you do a male to female transformation makeup. You know what I'm saying? Or all those times they were doing videos on YouTube talking about, oh, I'm gonna fucking transform my boyfriend into a girl, and so they'll buy a wig and all them take their makeup and like do makeup on their boyfriend and shit, and then put on a wig and then they can put on a wig and shit, and it was like those type of things that made you realize like, oh my god, like this is a real thing, like we could do this shit, And when you also put into account like transgender people's experiences, you kind of feel bad as a person because you're like, man, we really treat them like shit. But why? For the reason, like, we're cool with gay people, like, what the fuck? And so things like that kind of, made it what it was. And so, I was thinking of myself as transgender. And I didn't want to because back in I still remember like it's fucking yesterday. I still remember like it's yesterday. Like, I remember just wanting to be more, just wanting to get into more femininity. Like being gay and being openly gay with people. Like, I'm gay, you know what I mean? And knowing how you can get into effeminacy to be all the way be a post-op, like a post-op trans woman, right? Had me like, damn, like, I can do this shit. And it was like I just kept on trying to effeminize more and more and more and more, until it was like one day I was just like, man, I was working at McDonald's and I was like, I'd rather be a trans woman porn star, you know what I'm saying, Sheba porn star, than work at fucking McDonald's. I know it sounds stupid, but that's what I said to myself. And I was like, does that make me transgender? I don't know. And so then I kept on fucking like looking up shit on that type of thing. And also at the same time, because I was a gay top, you know what I'm saying, I also felt like that, that came from being down low, right? In the aspects of like, I'm only having sex with guys because I need to fucking bust a nut. And I know it's flesh on flesh, so it's gonna feel good. But I'm really attracted to women, right? I'm looking at women. But I'm not just to do it because it's what it. So I came from that to like, okay, I guess I'm gay. You know what I'm saying? To then like seeing trans women and being like, oh shit, like you guys are hot, you guys are male. I totally, I'm thinking like, I'm attracted to trans women as a man, like I'm thinking that they're men, they're so effeminate that they look like, so that helps, you know what I'm saying, for somebody like me who's really just a guy who wants to have sex with women but can't, you know what I'm saying, so I end up fucking being gay, you know what I'm saying, like it's just a roller coaster of shit that just kind of like insecure failure, like it's hard to explain, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's not like I came out of being gay like it's something happy. It's not like I was gay and I was like, okay, I'm happy being gay. Or I had sex with guys and I'm like, yes, I'm bisexual. It was like, no, like I'm attracted to women. I just have sex with guys because I can't get women. You know what I mean? And then it was like, well, I guess I'm gonna be gay because I'm not getting women. You know what I mean? Like that's what happened. And then it was like, okay, they're trans women, so I guess I'll just be with trans women because they are basically women, right? But they're guys that look like women, so that helps. You know what I'm saying? And then once, that's where it stopped for me. So that's where I was kind of like, okay, maybe I could do this shit. And I didn't understand. I still didn't understand trans women to the extent that I understand them now. But at the time, I was just thinking they're just very effeminate men, right? And so that look like women, and that helps with my situation. So I was thinking maybe I could be with a trans woman, it'd be perfect, and it just didn't work out. I never got any trans women, and so that's when I felt like I realized it was because of my masculinity. You get what I'm saying? It was because of my masculinity. I'm not a heterosexual cisgendered guy. And so that's what changed it all for me. And then so that made me kind of get more into being effeminate, to basically being a femboy, so to speak. But because I'm a very masculine looking person, it's like I'm not a femboy. I can never be a femboy. Society won't take me. So it's like that's the problem, you know? So I basically like go back in the closet. And that's what always fucking happens. I try to feminize myself and I have to go back in the closet. And it just aggravates me, you know. And so I'm just feeling like this movie is just seeing this movie right now, second serve, because I don't really have anybody to relate to. Like I cannot relate to a lot of black trans women. For one, I'm not black. I'm not a Nigerian, you know what I'm saying? And Nigerians, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole other country. So like there's no like Nigerian Americans like that, that really can, we're not even on that level to even deal with something like that. So it's very complicated. Let me see here. I'm trying to show you. So yeah, I'm seeing the movie right now, this one part. So he like basically starts talking to his therapist that he wants to help him like fight his urges to become a woman. And so basically like he couldn't hold it in anymore. He wants to become a woman, and the doctor's like, I can still help you. Like you need to fucking help me help you. And he was like, fuck that shit. I need to become a woman. And so he went to see a psychiatrist or whatever, or a physician, a medical physician to help him. And he ended up doing that, and they was on the hormones. He was transitioning, say socially or whatever, and well, not socially, he was transitioning socially. You know what I'm saying? He started to change, and that's the same thing that happened to me. I didn't fucking tell anybody. I started to change, and it's like I didn't even change that much. And that's what made me so annoyed. It was like, what the fuck? All he was doing is acting very fucking effeminate, flamboyant. I cut my eyebrows and I shaved, and it's like everybody lost their shit. It's annoying. A little bit of eyeliner, a little bit of mascara. Everybody loses their shit. It's crazy. Like it's like, man, like people just really can't take. So, anyways, it's deep. So then basically, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, he's scared because he's a doctor and he's the one to get out in the medical field among their colleagues. And so like he cuts them off from the hormones and shit. Or cuts them off from transitioning. And so he feels like, well, no, sorry, my bad. He doesn't allow him to have the surgery because he doesn't want him to cut his penis off and not be completely sure. Because his ball's off and not really sure. So what he does is try to go to a different country to get the surgery done. And it's so weird because you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And then he goes through this awkward, like, homophobic phase when he's, in a different country. And, he basically got beat up by, like, some guys because, they found out he's a dude in a wig. And so that like spoke to his like insecurity. When he was at the clinic, everything became so surreal. It felt like it was being rushed. It felt like, okay, maybe I'm not ready for this because like I'm getting into situations that I'm not prepared for, and I'm going into a situation that I don't know anything about. And so it just scared him, and then he ran off. And and that's how I kind of feel like when it comes to me, like. When I was in Austin and like I was trying to like transition or whatever, I feel like that was me in that situation, you know. Um, but overall, I feel like Renee, you know, because I feel like everything, even when he was talking about being a child, and they show the flashbacks, and it's like, I wish I could show you guys real quick. Let me just see if I can show you. I don't know if I can. It's really hard because there's like a lot, you know, to this movie. Oh, well, here's one. There we go. You guys ready? Let me show you. I don't think it's be copyrighted.
Back to something you said last time about your life as a child.
Can y'all see it? It's too dark. It's kind of dark.
Everyone in my family, a walking contradiction. Right. Now, what about these photos? Is that your sister?
No.
Oh, that's me. That's my sister's clothes. That's my sister.
You ready? That's him dressed in his sister's clothes.
No. Why not?
I don't
want to. I'm gonna make you play because I'm gonna say you little thing.
This is how I was with my little sister. I'm sorry, my older sister.
Look. What pretty little girl. I love you when you're pretty. Oh, your necklaces aren't wrong. That looks better. I'm gonna find you a nice brooch, make you look even prettier.
He doesn't like being pretty at first because he thinks, I'm a boy. It's not supposed to be like that. You're going to be in trouble. This is a kid. But
she had a real feeling for it.
he got into it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I don't like this. And then kept on doing it. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's how I was. Like, I remember being a kid and, like, wearing my fucking sister's, like, skirt. And my sister, like, playing with me and playing with dolls. And, like, you know. Okay, let's keep on going. But yeah, that's the same way I fucking felt like as a kid. Like, it was just like, what the fuck, you know? Like I relate to Renee a lot. Like, a lot of fucking Renee. And then he's a grown ass man and shit. The only difference is that he's successful and I'm not. You know? So it's really like depressing and shit because it's just like you don't know how to feel, you know. Let me try to show you what I'm talking about. Like, this is pretty much how I felt like when I was in Austin. This is him as an adult, cross-dressed, basically on hormones in like Spain or something, some type of Spanish country or some shit. I'm pretty sure. And then the guy is hitting on him. You can see he's a sugar daddy, got all types of money, but he sees that this motherfucker look like a little older, you know, because turns him into have this like older look appearance to him, you know. And then he's one of the people that clock it, so like he clocked it. So he clocked it, but he didn't clock it, you know what I mean? And so here we go.
The American queer.
Tell him American queer. Got a wig on, see? And he's like, what the fuck? It's a fucking fag? Hell no. Because back in those days, women were not trying to be like glamour stars, you know? Back in the day, like, honestly, bro, women were not trying to be like Kim Kardashian beautiful, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were just trying to be like somewhat attractive, but not even like, you know, the average person, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to fucking, so many words, or sexual attraction, like, you know what I'm saying? The average person was just like, fuck it. Like, you know? Like, you just need to be a normal person. You know what I'm saying? This is before the internet and all that. You just need to be a normal fucking person, and people, and you know, people will feel like, okay, you know, a decently looking person, but like, you know, so that's why, you know, but so they got beat up. Then they fucking sitting here going to, you know what I'm saying, the hospital. You said it was looks like they're in drag almost, with some stubble on the face, no makeup. You get what I'm saying? You gotta walk into there with all your suitcases and luggage and shit because you're not from here, and it's just a lot of shit. You're going to surgery.
The doctor's expecting me.
Fill out this form. Your operation.
Sorry, I'm just gonna fast forward real quick. So then, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what like hurts. It's like she thinks about his girl, her girlfriend. She got pregnant, but she don't talk to no more. Stubble. You see, you know what I'm saying? What's that? Her friend that rejected him. That happened to me. Guys that want to hit on you, but then they realize you're trans or whatever, and they're like, "What the fuck? You didn't ask for that." Look at you staring. That fucking ugly ass man. He wants to get a vagina. Oh, fucking disgusting. And you think, oh, it's because of the corruption of when I was a child. It's my corruption. I'm just fucked up in the head. Like, I'm mentally fucked up. And then you see this person, it's a drag queen. He wanted to be like the drag queen or the prostitute or whatever. You get what I'm saying? And then look at you. You get treated like shit because of it. And then it's like, I'm going to fucking do something like that will completely forever change me into that. And so that's what the whole, you get what I'm saying? The whole, like, the hurting comes from. That's where the hurting comes from. You know what I'm saying? And this is like, this is bigger than the gender dysphoria. This is where it gets like, this is where it gets bigger than the gender dysphoria. Like, it's not just the want to do that or be that. It's almost like it's gone past that. It's like, how am I gonna like survive? How am I gonna live? You know? And you don't see a realistic way for you to live because there's no representation of you living like that. There's no, not just representation, there's no resources. There's nobody that's there that has your back. You know, there's still community. And so you just, it scares the shit out of you. You know, and to have everybody basically go against you. You know what I mean? It's just a lot. You know? And remember, he's a doctor. His parents were doctors. He don't know how to fucking sell crack on the hood. You know what I'm saying? He would die out there. And that's what I'm saying. His survival, you know, in his brain, his survival mentality is like, I gotta be a rich, successful, heterosexual, straight, strong man. And so it's like, if you don't know how to, if you weren't raised or you weren't reared that way, then it's like, you never had the opportunity to not be that. You can never be yourself. And so it's like, it scares you almost like, am I just doing this because I've never been myself? So it's all suppressed ass shit that I'm going through, that I'm trying to like put out there. And if I do, I need to just do it and then put it away, you know? Process and put it away. But these feelings are so strong. You want to do that shit. You want to go through the surgeries. You want to be a transsexual. It's just hard because it's like, fuck, like everything else. And then, you know, that's why they do this.
I must go. I've changed my mind.
Oops. Excuse me, guys. Just rewind it a little bit.
I must go. I've changed my mind.
So they change their mind. Then the next scene, you see them back in New York City. See what I'm saying? And this was made in the 86. And the movie The Stroll was started in 1983 to modern days.
Fantastic. How about yourself?
At least it was about 1983 in that movie.
Old buddy, old pal.
And she like detransitioned back into a dude or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of how that shit is for me right now. You know, you thinking you could do that shit. I tried multiple times of being gay. Like, I've tried not to be gay. Like, let me not be gay. That's just demonic, you know, this other shit. Like, and it hasn't changed me. Shit hasn't changed. It doesn't mean anything. you know.
Hello?
Let's just go ahead and go through it. But then the lucky thing is that they toughen up a little bit and, you know, become a tranny. But it's just like, you know, and so something that sparked in me was like that they have, you know, the transgender women have the courage and they have the balls and all this shit. And it's just like, you know, and even that, like, you're not living your authentic self, and it's just a lot. And it was just like, man, it just makes you want to fucking, like, man, I need to be a part of this. But it's like, when it comes to your life, how's that gonna work? How's it gonna work for your life? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Like, and I can't relate to anybody on that level besides white people. And when I say white people, I don't mean like any white person. I'm not rich white people. Like, not rich white people, my bad, sorry. White people that, like, are well off. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I come from, we call it white people shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's trying to show my age, too. But, like, that's what we call it. But what I'm saying is, like, when you watch, let me see if I can find it. What I'm talking about is, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you watch things like Finster and shit, and you get what I'm saying? It's like you start to feel like, what the fuck? Like, who we got here? Perfect. You know, when you're watching like Finster and shit, 6 years later, let's see if we can find something. I'm trying to find somebody who's on here who's transgender or whatever that you could be like, oh yeah, nah. Here's one. Nio. I don't know if y'all fuck with her videos.
Things I'm insecure about.
Okay, we not. Like people like her, you get what I'm saying? Who's transgender or whatever. It's like that shit. It just aggravates you, you know, because that's them. Look at them. Still looking hot. She's insecure about her shape because she has an inverted triangle. But look at her. Still hot as shit compared to me looking like a fucking Sasquatch. Looking like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, you see her, and we just go black. We can go black. You know, I fuck with this girl named Nick Venus. Get her on the screen. Shout out to her. Follow her channel if you get a chance. She's transgender. You know, light skinned, but still, you know what I'm saying? I talk a little shit, but, you know, hey, she's still my sister. You know, it's like, look at her. Look at her, and then look at I don't even want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what to say. I look like this guy. Shit. I look like Long Beach Griffey. This is who I look like, guys. You know what I mean? Exactly. That's how I look like right now. And I'm talking about looking like, man, I'm going to just put it away. You know what I mean? And so then you try to, like, say, yeah, no, I'm a hideous woman. I look like shit. But it doesn't change any other feelings. It doesn't change any of the dysphoria, anything. And so you're just, like, sitting there suffering and shit. It's just, you know, until you can't suffer no more and you have to let it out. And then you don't know what to do because you can't. So you, like, implode and shit. You go through, like, certain, like, psychological, like, errors and, you know, in your brain process. It's like, you know, some glitches or some shit. You know, and you got, you know, it's just so many different things. You got, like, Martin Lawrence's greatest character ever, Shanae. Yeah, Shanae. We all remember Shanae, you know? Back in the 90s. Y'all grew up in the 90s, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows Shanae. Shanae wasn't bad looking either, though. He's just looking all funny. But this is what I don't like about cross-dressing. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, so, you know, I used to watch, you know, you get so desperate. That's why he was, you know, in the movie Second Serve, what did he do? You know, I'm going to show you that real quick. Because I think that's significant. You know what I'm saying? This is why I watch so many, like, cross-dresser and transgender movies, is because of the fact that, you know, you need to fucking, like, express that shit somehow. I'm trying to see if I can find it somehow. Let's see if I can find the clip. I hope I can find the clip. Damn. I saw it earlier. It was in here somewhere. Let me just go ahead and see if I can do this real quick. Trying to find it. It doesn't seem that when he goes to the drag, he's in therapy, right? So he can like stop cross-dressing, right? And he ends up fucking around and going to, going to a bar, a gay bar or whatever, right? A transvestite bar. And then like his therapist is like, yeah, you weren't enjoying that shit, you know what I'm saying? He's like, your girl side probably was enjoying that shit, but not you. You as a man, you were not enjoying that shit. You know, let me see if I can. Here we go, found it. You know, and it's like that's what I do. That's why drag shows exist. It's because there's people that want to do that, or just, oh my god, yes, queen, like, you know, but they can't do it, and it's really depressing. So, let's see.
Problems like mine are biological.
Be late for your staff meeting.
Wait, don't mind this right here. This right here.
My family doesn't explain anything. I read that problems like mine are biological.
Some people believe that.
I read that too. That's in the hypothalamus gland of the
I
brain
read
of
Kraft Evan's
primates.
book. I found it in my mother's office. Men don't want to be the women are incurably insane.
That's not
Exactly,
what you
curably
want.
insane, which means they have to be insane. It's the only way to
What
cure
you
them.
imagine.
And that's what sucks the most about that
That's
shit.
the
Exactly. It's like, fuck.
We have to fight.
See?
You have no real desire to become a woman, but you have a very strong fear of losing your manhood. And when you cross-dress to act out that fear, what you really enjoy is not becoming a woman, but the relief of changing back to a man again. Are you still cross-dressing?
Yeah,
I told you not to.
I can't help
Fight.
it. I am fighting.
Fight harder.
See? That's what you say to yourself. That's the voice in the back of your own fucking head. It's like, fight. And you're like, I am fighting. Like, fight harder. You're like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good. It's just not healthy in the mind. Your brain is not meant for that shit. You know what I mean? You know, it makes your mind very undecided, insecure. Just everything becomes like a halfway thing, and so you never get to grow out of certain things. You know? Shit. And when he talks about, like, it's the relief of coming back into being a man, that's not what that's not what people feel like. You know? But he's at a drag bar right now. I don't go to drag bars because I'm scared somebody's gonna see me. Or even gay clubs. I've been with some gay clubs with some girlfriends back in the day. Like actual girlfriends. I was like, oh yeah, you're not a toxic man. Exactly. Alright. You know, he went to a drag show. Oops, sorry. And then look at this. This is the voice of the drag queen. Listen to the voice of the drag queen.
Put the blame on me.
Deep ass voice and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, oh, it's man, it's not a.
Dick found it very
You know?
impressive
See?
and felt ashamed of himself. Put the blame on me. Renee was enjoying the show.
Renee was enjoying the
Dick
show.
found it very depressing and felt ashamed of himself for being there. Well, I agree with Dick. In other words, I agree with you. And basically, as I told her, you're a very masculine character. You're athletic. You like fast sports cars. And with Gwen, you tell me that the sex is fine. Hold on to it.
Hold on to it.
It's all a cataract operation.
You know what I'm saying? You see how like awkward that shit. You see how he just like all like angry and like it's just awkward. It's like it's just a lot. It's like it's just a lot. You know? And that's the truth. What he said was true, but it's like wow, should I feel fucking uncomfortable? That's why he said, what I'm trying to say is that you didn't like that shit. That's because the doctor only sees him as a man. He doesn't see Renee as a real person. You get what I'm saying? Because he's a male who's doing things that we as a society have said women are supposed to be doing. And so that's the real issue. But we can't even talk about it because it's already a rule set in place, so we can't talk about it. You get what I'm saying? So we already have preconceived notions, and so that fucks up the fucking process of thinking about this already. You know? And who knows, maybe that's what created the process in the first place. You know? So it's just really weird. You know? That's why you have people like Matt Walsh talking about what is a woman and shit. It's very like, what the fuck? You know? Try to confuse you more. You know what I mean? With his assholeness. You know? That's why this movie is it's everything. Like, it's crazy. Like, even right now, I'm about to shave. Right? I'm going to show you this scene. I've done this. It's like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, it's so deep. Like, y'all don't understand, man. Like, y'all don't understand. Y'all really don't understand. Like, it made me want to cry right now, but I'm not going to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, but yeah. You just don't understand the deepness of this shit. Like how I relate to every fucking aspect of these movies and shit. Not every aspect, but certain aspects of these movies. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm just one of those people that where art really speaks to me, and you know, on a very emotional thing. And I, you know, like as a spiritual like healer type thing, it's just like that's how I see things. It's just I don't know. But right now, like you said, he's with his girlfriend, right? Whoop de whoop, she's pregnant. He knows, and you know they're still together or whatever. But she was putting his jacket away or some shit, and she's like, "Okay, so yeah, this is not exactly what happened to me, but this is what happened to me. So many words." And it happened to my girlfriend when I was with and shit. I just like met her type shit, and it was like, "Are you gay?" Like, she just acts that shit. Like, the way she acted was like, are you gay? Like, I'm cool with that shit. If you like guys too. And I was like, yeah. And then then, you know, because of the climate, you know, the climate, right? Not the climate, with the social climate. She was like, are you transgender? And I said, yeah. And so that's when it was like, and, you know, and look how she reacted. This is exactly essentially how my girlfriend acted like. And I was just, that shit fucked me up because I was just like, the same exact answer. Yeah, I don't even understand this shit. It's
Has someone else been staying here?
No. It belongs to me.
It belongs to you? You just keep it hidden away?
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't tell me you wear it.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Exactly.
You dress up in women's clothes? Here in your apartment, all by yourself?
I get a room in a hotel. I put on women's clothes. I wear makeup. I put on a wig and I go out.
I don't go out though.
In the street?
I walk around.
But I have walked around in the street at night. It'd be super late at night. Nobody around.
So, why do you want?
They call it a compulsive disorder.
So I'm stopped right there. So back in those times, that's what I'm saying. Everything was interconnected. Like, so they thought she's thinking like you're attracted to me. So why the fuck you're not like a faggot? Basically, you know, you're not a gay person who's that fucking so gay that they fucking think that they're a woman or some shit. Which is the first thing I've heard and shit about trannies and shit. You know what I'm saying? On some research and stuff, man. when I first, when I was an adult and I like was aware that they're transsexuals and this is what they are, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? The first YouTube video I watched, which I wish I could find this chick again because I've seen her one time a long time ago when I was a kid, but then like, I found out that now. So yeah, like. But yeah, she thinks he's like gay or whatever the fuck, right? Which that's another thing, right? I'm not going to too. But look, let's watch.
How can I help you? Please let me help you.
See, that's exactly how my girlfriend was
I
like.
understand now why you used to.
She was kind of the opposite though. She was cool with it, but she was kind of like, oh, but it's kind of the same shit. She was like supporting me, but like at the same time, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't like it's a compulsive disorder. I wasn't like that. I was just like, I felt that way, right? Like it's something I have to do. Is complicated and shit. And then it was like, but at the same time, she was like on some like, oh, it's okay. You like just be yourself and shit. But I felt fucking weird because I felt this like anxiety of not being able to do that and feel comfortable. You know? Yeah.
When you're with me,
See?
you feel like a man. You love me.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, when he's with her, he feels like a man. Why? Because, he's doing what we say is typically masculine or for a man to do, or what men are supposed to do. Fuck women or whatever, right? Have sex with women, like, their husbands and boyfriends and shit. So I guess he feels like a man because that's how he's supposed. That's not even a feeling. Like somebody else would say that they feel like he's a man. You get what I'm saying? Because of that shit. And they'll throw some respect on that shit too.
Very close together. Will that help?
Hell of a thing to ask.
You didn't ask me, I offered.
It's not fair.
Life isn't always fair. To you either.
And my girlfriend was black. I'm just saying, she was Dominican American. I wish I could, it's just one of those situations where you're like, man, I wish I never let her go, but at the same time, like, I ain't gonna lie. So for me, she was the one that got away, when it comes to girls and whatnot. Okay, let's see if we can fast forward and show you some more clips about, I got clips for days, like the whole movie, like I might have to watch this movie. And I hate this because when I get like this, I have to watch these movies because this is like my drag show. This is how I relate. And it's way more deeper than some entertainment bullshit about, look how beautiful and fabulous I am. You know what I'm saying? It just helped me get through trauma and shit, but like, I don't know if I'm even over it because I have to keep on, I just want to move past this.
What's going on?
Let me show you guys.
I have to see you, Josh. I know what you're thinking.
Oh, no, you don't. What's the joke, huh? I mean, this isn't funny, Richard. I'm sorry, man. What's it? Chanel number 5?
I've got to talk to you, Josh.
Oh, well, get it off your chest, and what a lovely chest it is. Walking in those heels must be hell. You know something? These earrings are terrible. I love your hair. The dress is great, but the earrings have to go.
Oh, give me a break.
What is it, Richard? Am I supposed to take this seriously?
See?
I mean, you look like a fool.
You see?
Well, I feel like a fool.
Exactly.
Tonight I'm great.
You just look
Even on
great.
my off day.
No, thank you.
Look at the way he said no thank you. You heard the disgust? And then you're feeling like shit already, like fucking shit. Because look what you are. It's hard.
Josh, this has been going on for years.
Exactly. Since I was 21. About to hit 31 soon.
You dress up? You dress
I dress up. I remember telling a friend that shit too. That's what that's awesome.
Stop it.
I use those exact words.
Tell me this is a joke.
Let me pause real quick. I use the exact words for a friend that I met, and he was a new friend. And I feel like he was cool because he said his brother was gay, which is always fucking something that they always say. My sister's gay, my brother's gay, but then you end up being gay, and they're like, "Oh, we can't be friends anymore, bro. I don't fuck with you, man. I'm good though." And you're like, "What the fuck? You said you were cool." You know, like I swear, you know, it's been kind of cold out here. Get my jacket. But yeah, this is pretty much how a lot of my friends react to when I tell them like, and I'm being like, yeah, bro, but you know, I'm gay, bro. You know what I mean? Or I'll tell them like, oh, like I dress up, I'm a cross dresser and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I'm transgender, but I'm not there yet. I just dress up.
Please?
This is how they react. You dress up? You like?
Just stop it. I mean, tell me this is a joke, will you, please?
Can't you imagine what it feels like to be walking around dressed like this? You can't tell anybody about it.
No, I'm afraid I can't.
I feel like a woman.
You feel like a woman.
He doesn't feel like he is a woman. He just feels like how women feel. Like he has female virtues. That's what it means. Like when people say you feel like a woman, like how can you feel like a woman? You don't know how women feel and shit. Like man, what the fuck? That's not the point. Like that's like saying I feel like a winner. Like you know, so you're not really. You didn't win anything. You just feel excited and you know what I mean? Like it's feelings, bro. You know, like the fuck. You know, so that's what I'm saying. It's like his feelings are strong and shit. He wants to do this shit. He feels like a woman. You know? Even if he couldn't go on hormones and get the surgery, he would still be able to walk around and be like that. But it's like, how do you do that shit? You know what I'm saying? And you see he looks a little bit drag queenish. And that's because that's the only fucking exposure he has. It's hard. Because there's no outlet. There's nothing that, you know... It's either glitz and glam and the whole, oh, look at this circus freak who's actually a fucking man, you know? That's just the whole notion. It's like, you know? Or you can fucking blend in as much as possible to be like some average basic bitch, but then it's like, what the fuck? You know? That's not exciting. So were you excited about this, dressing up like, you know, drag queen, or were you excited about being a woman? Like... What I just said, what the fuck?
Excuse me a minute, dear. I need to get a little air.
You see what I'm saying? That's what they always do. They be like, oh, okay, cool. Sure. And then you're sitting there like, fuck, it's bad for yourself. Hold on, let me just so we can fast forward a little bit for you guys. I don't want it to take forever. And you're sitting here like, okay, I'm chilling out, waiting for him to come back, and you're like, fuck, what's taking so long? It's weird. And then there's this. Yeah, what the fuck? My friend said he was fucking pretty.
Dick, sturgeon, tennis champ, and a woman. Expected woman. Expecting to be a woman. And he's not quite a woman yet. There's still some problems to get ironed out. Those size 12 feet, those Burt Lancaster
I got size 13 and a
Oh,
half.
do they have an operation to take those off too?
Exactly.
Josh, I think we should.
Operation to take off my feet?
Go? Why we're just starting, Gloria. Do you have any wigs? Maybe we could all put on some wigs, have a little party. I think he likes you, baby.
You son of a bitch.
Me? What about you?
That's the problem.
What did you come here for? Why do you have to tell me this?
That's like how all my friends feel.
You can humiliate me.
And family.
I don't think anything else
Yep.
would work with you. So why don't you just take your wig and your drape, your scarf, and your pretty purse and get out of here. And every time I see you like this again, you're going to get the same kind of treatment.
Yep.
See you around, buddy.
See you around. And I know that's pretty much what it comes down. Like these are like clips in my head. Like when shit be going down, this is what goes down in my head. Like these images, like these clips that are in my head, like they're ingrained in my head. Because this is what happens to me. This is what happens to me. This is what I go through. This is like that's exactly how my life be like. You know, and I hate that shit. You know, it's hard, and that's why people. That's why you kind of want to either be a trans woman or you know, or a cis man or non-binary, because it's like when you're gender fluid or whatever, cross-dresser. This is the problem. This is what you get into. Like people feel betrayed. They don't trust you. They don't want to deal with that. When it comes to you, when they think of you, they don't think of that shit. You know, it's a lot. And finally, the worst. Let me go ahead and show you real quick. God damn it. This right here, you know what I mean? Let's keep on going. The hate train. Should I make it widescreen for you guys? No, she just told him she's pregnant. She just told him she's pregnant. He doesn't want it.
That makes two of us. I don't think I can handle it. Being a mother? Shot.
That's a cheap shot.
You deserve it.
I don't think I like being the way I am. I don't want to. I really don't.
Exactly. And that's the thing about it too. Like a lot of gay and trans people are scared to have kids or be parents because they don't see that shit as something morally sound. You know what I'm saying? To deal with. Like how are they supposed to? They don't even know how to. You know what I mean? It's too much. It's too much. And at the same time, she feels that this is, I don't know, for them personally, she doesn't want to have the baby with him because, like, she's like, I don't want to be out of wedlock, you know. That's the reason why.
Then give it up for adoption. And I won't be taken care of by an amateur with a coat hanger.
I think this is before abortions. Or legally or whatever.
Have you any other suggestions for my future?
Some good clinics in Puerto Rico. There are some certified doctors I could ask around.
You do that, Dick. Call me.
See? I'm going to pause it. I'm going to bring it a little closer. Because I'm going to my ass off just to end this. Like I'm all the way over there. Let's continue. Second serve. This is what I'm saying. And he's still cross-dressing. That's him right there. Still cross-dressing and shit. Like, what the fuck? Going to fucking restaurants and eating cross-dress. See, I can't do that because I'm not passable. But if I was passable, that's what I'd be doing. He's not that passable, as you can see.
She feels better. I was thinking she would say that for
Okay?
Don't you want to
Okay.
from this situation what she would like? You have to.
Now, this right here is deep. I remember this. I have to show this because I feel like showing this.
Since my mother died and I broke up with Gwen, Renee is stronger than ever.
Yep.
As long as you can still act like a man.
Well, but it's only an act.
Really is the act.
I don't believe that anymore.
Look, only last week you met this
Even Kanye was talking about it's an act. Like, people are all actors.
Back and explain something to me. I know what stormed that because I know what Renee would like. I can imagine myself in this situation, what she would like.
You have got to get over this craziness. You have to fight it. Now, lie down. Lie down, please. You're suffering an anxiety attack.
Yes.
Brought on by your unwillingness to face the truth about yourself. What is the truth?
Exactly.
You know
That's what I
it,
feel like,
but you
too.
resist it.
Extremely hard right now.
I would like to prescribe a tranquilizer.
You want to drug me into believing you?
Lie down.
Dr. Fred, I've been listening to you. And you... I'm trying to find this thing. It's no use! Oh, let me go to a surgeon, please!
Mutilate yourself in order to
Jen will do this for you,
That's
which I have to
total
sometimes.
craziness. You'll destroy your whole life. If I told you anything else, I'd be doing you a terrible disservice. Now, lie down, please. Lie down.
He's a little hysterical right now.
What we
But yeah,
have
it's true. That's how I felt like.
is to get rid of Renee once and for all.
The
Don't
fuck?
interrupt.
Yeah, I like that part.
Lie
Like,
down.
the fuck? Okay, Renee.
Listen to
The
me
fuck?
very carefully.
Dr. Beck's idea was incredibly simple, but it worked incredibly well. Whenever I looked in the mirror, all thoughts of Renee disappeared.
Yep, that's how I feel right now. That's why I have this beard.
A year later,
Not why I
was
have this
driving
beard, but
to
yeah.
Navy.
Navy pen. Always use good doctors. I understand you're quite a tennis player, too.
And that's why I'm a little scared to cut my beard off, because he has to cut his beard off with the military.
No whiskers, that's it. Anyway, it's just a beard.
Yeah. Well, just no, I can't. Well, okay, I'll ring you. Fine, I'll ring you.
Exactly.
No way I can go on pretending.
You have to go on fighting.
It's over. Thank you. Goodbye.
Lie down, please.
Exactly. Let me fast forward it a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, he met the doctor. He finally met a physician.
The problem is very simple. When the spirit refuses to fit the body, why not make the body fit the spirit?
To get a female spirit that's not fit into the male body, you gotta fucking make the body into a female. Now, he might not make your soul, but within the spirit itself, in the aspect of anything, and abundance, yes. It's gonna be feminine. Femininity is a spirit. And masculinity is a spirit
But
itself.
don't imagine that
You
an
know,
operation can
you
solve
think you're feminine
all
or you're
your problems.
masculine. You wanna be feminine. You can't be feminine and be a man and be a male. It's hard.
Oh, if I'm at peace with myself, I'll be a better doctor.
Agreed. But how about your patients? How will they react to being treated by a transsexual?
You see,
It's a chance I'll have to take.
have to take.
It's a new area of medical science. Many of my patients are doing very well, but others find themselves in some kind of sexual limbo. Neither one thing or the other.
Well, that's one more chance I'll have to take.
Very well, my friend. We'll go through the usual tests if they're satisfactory. We'll start the hormone shots next week.
The shots work faster.
I don't know how to thank you enough.
One last thing. Long before you start living completely as a woman, you'll start looking more womanly if people comment on it. Tell them you're taking special medication for her. You're a doctor. Invent what you like.
You know that we only have 200 more hours to go?
Only 200 more hours.
And we're halfway through.
You know, I finished your horoscope at last.
It's really very encouraging. We're going to have success. And very important.
Important man?
And an important change. And it's really quite wonderful.
How tall? Right, Wendy, would you put these
she'll have to have surgery?
Possibly, but it's very minor. It's always very successful. Of course, if you want a second opinion.
Oh no. Everyone says you're the best there is. Even though you are a little weird looking. Shut up. That's why her dad tell you. Please, shut up. Also, sorry to hear about your illness.
Oh, it's all right. I'll be much better soon. Okay, thank you, Wendy. There's this cute guy across the street. Yeah, I thought he was
And see, you know, how you laugh. Even though you're a little funny looking, you don't care that we look like that.
He's got to say something to me. He talks to the person behind me. You know, you look terrific when you laugh. You just look great. It's such a change. I feel good. I feel terrific.
So you're feeling fine? No depression, no anxiety?
Not for a long time. I feel good. I feel really adjusted.
I know this will come as a shock to you, Renee, but I've decided to discontinue your treatment.
Discontinue the treatment.
Well, I believe we should let the effects of the hormones subside and see how you do as a man again.
What?
I'm concerned about your future.
See?
No transsexual has ever been a practicing physician.
Oh, but I want to live my life as a woman.
I'm sorry, I'm truly
So
sorry.
deep. That's happened to me too.
Pressured.
You've been
So
pressured.
far, all of my patients have been
Hey, we want to see.
fairly obscure people. I'm sorry, I'm truly sorry.
You've been pressured.
So far, all of my patients have been fairly obscure people, but
These things like they're doing on a stroll. Like they're
physician
prostitutes.
is allowed to change his sex.
But you're like a professional
Resolves his
white,
mental problems.
you know,
And the whole
rich
thing
person.
somehow leaks out
You're like
to
the top of
press.
our society.
It would be very damaging.
It'd be weird. Only derelicts in society are trannies,
So you have been pressured.
whores and homeless people and crackheads.
It was a very hard decision. Don't make it
Not
harder
grown
for
white men that
Have
are
you
like
any idea?
famous
This treatment
doctors.
has already cost me. I've been discharged from the Navy. I haven't got a job. I'm ready to live my life completely as a woman.
I'm sorry, Richard.
I started calling him Richard again. Surprisingly, his friends still supported him, so that's cool. That's okay.
I don't care how you rationalize it, Dick. This is just some crazy fantasy trip.
Clinic in Casablanca's accepted me. That's real enough.
Your money is real enough.
That's true also.
John Hopkins turned you down. The doctor in Chicago wouldn't even look at you.
See, the doctor in Chicago, exactly, they're scared. This has literally happened to me. The doctor in Texas wouldn't even talk to us.
It's not like the movie, you know, when you're not Ingrid Bergman. Is there anything I can say to stop you?
No.
Just don't go make a fool of yourself in this rhinestone gown and this other fancy stuff you got.
I want to show that at least his friends support him a little bit.
I'm talking about the woman. At least give yourself some time to see if it's going to work out.
I'll have a week on the boat. I'll have a week down to South France, then to Spain.
That's nothing. I'm talking about months. Maybe a year. And not in the south of France or Spain. I mean, someplace normal, you know, like Oklahoma.
If you're hoping I'll change my mind, no way, Josh.
And that's how I kind of felt like when I was in Austin. It was like, you think, when I was talking to my friend at the time, and he was like, I kind of felt like he was like, oh, are you trying to get, you kind of like teasing me a little bit, but like, it wasn't direct. It was just like, oh, like, so you're a crossdresser, you know, do you want me to like call you she, and do you want me to fucking do this and that? Do you want to be like this? But you know, he was like, he's being like, you know, sarcastic about it and shit. But long story short, so this is what I'm saying. Then he like, goes out there. You know, I've communicated with trans women on Grindr and things like that.
Beautiful, huh? I have an incredibly normal life. My boy is fine. Does he know? A nice apartment, my job at the beauty parlor. I am satisfied.
Living as a woman, and then like I told you already about what happened on that, right? And then he got beat up and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to seduce somebody. Then it was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Then came back to America. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, for him, he met this girl, got her pregnant. They had a kid, and he was just like super fucking depressed. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm there right now. And as much as I don't want to be, like, that's how I feel like. And I can't, I'm scared to make those connections with girls or anything like that, with people right now, because that's what I'm saying. And that's just me right now. Literally, smoking CBD, just like, shit. Not giving a fuck. You already know, the groupies.
Probably trying to figure out how we were going to pay for the little jag we just picked up.
You managed.
I doubled my workload to block my patients.
That's what you wanted. You kept saying that was the only way to build a reputation. Paris, our first anniversary.
You don't look like you're in a very good mood that day either.
Oh, I was trying to figure out how we were going to pay for everything after we'd cleaned out Saint Laurent and Cartier.
We managed. Whenever I try to economize, you won't let me.
You look like you're in a pretty good mood that day.
Who wouldn't be? He's the best.
She feels like he only love him. He don't love me.
Where are you two going on your vacation this year?
Dick's been invited to a convention in Europe. He's taking Andy and the nurse. I'm going to Bermuda.
Separate vacations.
Separate vacations.
Oh, modern.
Modern, exactly.
You don't want to talk to me.
It's the 80s, this divorce era. It was 90s or whatever.
And you don't want to make love to me anymore. What's left?
Andy.
That's not enough for me. Why don't you get out?
And he knows, like, it's like, exactly, like, yeah, I'm a transvestite, I'm a tranny, like, of course, you don't love me.
So, after you and your wife were divorced, your compulsion was stronger again, and now it's stronger.
Yes.
In your private life, you started living as a woman. How does it feel?
Feels alright, that's why I do it.
Silicone?
Estrogen.
Hormones.
A few weeks ago, you went back to see Dr. Benjamin, found he's retired, spoke to his associate.
And he sent me to a psychiatrist who said I should have the operation and send me to you.
Are you sure you want to do it?
I'm really sure I want it.
So they juggle you around and shit, everybody gets a piece.
I'm a surgeon.
Exactly, big buddy.
You've been to a reputable psychiatrist.
Cut
Says you
people
should
up.
have this operation. So,
Stitch them back together.
step into my examining room.
They made him look really beautiful right here. He looks like a real woman. I'm gonna fast forward. So basically, he gets the surgery, right? And this is the fantasy that this is why I watch these things. So this is the fantasy part that I like need. You know what I'm saying? When I watch these movies and whatnot, right?
tell you, Joe. Wait, let me guess. While on vacation, you met Mr. Root.
No, I haven't been on vacation. I've been in the hospital.
Female trouble?
No. I've had the surgery. I'm a woman now.
You're putting me on.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, you don't have to be on hormones anymore when you have the surgery.
How do you feel?
Well, you can still be on hormones, but like, you don't have to take like harsh ass testosterone blockers. Oops. Like that.
No regrets?
This is always what I've always wanted. It's too late for regrets. Can't go home again.
I guess not.
Well, Renee. Renee. You call me Renee, okay?
Exactly.
Renee. I guess I'll have to start fixing you up with men now.
Oh, Josh, if we're going to stay friends, you're going to have to be easy on me, even if it isn't easy on you. Okay, you got it.
See? You have to be easy. He's like, okay.
You know me,
you
I
got it.
always like women
Like, wow.
better than men anyway. You set a lovely table today.
He's like, fuck it, whatever. That's what I want. Like, I want my friends and family to be like that. Like, oh, whatever. Like, but there's nobody's like that. I'm like the only person in my life that is like that I've never known as like that.
Oh, yeah, way bigger. Tuna, yellowtail, sea bass.
Think I could handle a few of them?
Okay, let me see if I can just fast forward a little bit. Let's not get too far into it.
Such a damn shame to forget the sales convention.
Then she meets a guy, right? She eventually meets a guy, and it's just so trippy because I'm just like, what the fuck, you know? And then gets outed, you know, because she does like semi-professional, you know what I'm saying, semi-professional tennis or whatever. Sometimes it's just a lot. It's just a lot. How are you guys back over here? Whatever. I'm gonna go to my little sleeping area. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm going through right now. Just those feelings. It's just really hard to have these feelings, you know? It's really hard to have these feelings. Right now, I really don't even want to go to the vet. I don't think I am because I just don't feel like going over there. I'm just not. Too lazy. I'm using my lo mein noodles that I had left over. The rest of this. Because it's delicious. And it's getting cold. I don't want to get too cold. Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. You know, I'm just dealing with a lot of that type of, you know. That's just one movie. I'm gonna show you guys more movies, but I feel like right now it's something like that. That's just what I've been dealing with a lot of. You know, just a lot of like. It's just like it's a lot. That's all I can say. I know I'm sounding like redundant, but it's just a lot. It really, really is a lot for me. Now, mind you, he's a fucking doctor. Yes, the 80s, but still, though, he's still a doctor.